There are few things as proud while simultaneously laid back as the rider of an adventure bike, except maybe a Ducati Biscotti, and that's a different kind of laid back. And by laid back, I mean totally cocky and that cool guy silent treatment kind of laid back. Before we get too far off the beaten path, hi, welcome to the yammiest place on the old interwebs. That's right, yours truly was just voted the yammiest entertainer on YouTube. I can't tell you who voted for that award since I voted completely anonymously, but I'd like to thank Rossi, my fans, my Daytona, and as always, Triumph. Even though they still haven't let me out of that restraining order and we haven't been able to set aside our differences, I'm confident that our sponsorship negotiations will work out. After all, good things come to those who wait, or so I'm told. Now, before we jump in, I've got to tell you guys about our motorcycle giveaway. You've heard me discussing these things before. We've got our brand spanking new Yamaha R3 and Suzuki SV650, but what you might not know is that time is running out to get signed up. These bikes will be given away by October 17th when we announce our winners, so you're going to want to make sure you're signed up to win. There's 3 ways to enter. If you sign up on Patreon, you'll get automatically entered to win based on the episodes you support and your tier amount. You can also pick up merch, and every dollar you spend gets you tickets to win the bike, or you can check out our Patreon to see how to send in a letter and get entered in completely for free. You won't want to miss out on this one, but if you do miss out on it, know that we're going to have 3, if not 4 more motorcycles that's going to be given away for our next round of bikes. Definitely stay tuned for those. Now, what exactly is an adventure bike? We're talking about adventure bike bros here today. I thought it'd be important to kind of talk about what makes an adventure bike. Think your BMW GS 1200, your KTM Super Adventure R, or even the middleweight Yamaha Tenere 700, or hell, even my Ducati Scrambler Desert Sled could constitute a secret adventure bike. They're bikes that, in the right hands and skill level, can conquer any terrain and absolutely scarf down miles in the saddle. Let's sneak a peek into the mind of the adventure bike bro and check out 7 things they're bound to say. Number 1, took her out to the national park, 3,000 miles in the saddle, no problem. Yeah, old Betsy, she handled that trip like a champ. I knew she was a solid investment, but I had no idea she was going to be so much fun. No, Betsy's not the name of my girlfriend. I don't even have a girlfriend. Who needs a girlfriend when you can put a gal like Betsy between your legs and ride off into the sunset with absolutely no fear of things getting bumpy? The ups, the downs, smooth or bumpy, it just doesn't matter to old Bets. She takes it all like a champ and never complains. Heck, sometimes I swear I hear her asking for more. The pro mode version of number 1 is asking if you've ridden your adventure bike to another country or continent. In America, you might be asked if you've ridden your bike to Mexico, and in Europe, maybe they'll ask you if you've taken it all the way to the African continent. Either way, ADV bros love to flex about distance traveled in the saddle. Number 2, my VStrom is just as good as any GS or Multistrada. It's all about rider skill. VStroms are the greatest thing since sliced bread. No, really, check out the 7 greatest adventure bikes of 2019. It's there, right there on that list, the Kawasaki VStrom. I'm just kidding, man. How many of you are already ready in the comments playing Keyboard Warrior? The Suzuki VStrom is the working man's ADV. All of your fancy bells and whistles don't compare to the deep and basic but sturdy foundation of love between a rider and his VStrom. A VStrom rider doesn't need a Ducati sticker or a big name to feel confident on his ride. In fact, a VStrom rider secretly worries about other adventure bike riders. What could have possibly happened in their life to make them so insecure? Who hurt them? Although, from yours truly, I watched a video the other day from where these dudes outfitted their Gold Wings to be trail bikes, and I gotta say, I felt extremely emasculated. Any bike is an off-road bike if you're brave enough, and all the electronics in the world won't save you if you bin a 550-pound motorcycle on a hill. Number 3, it's not so heavy. Seriously, it ain't so bad. Oh man, this one's a doozy. This bike weighs at least 500 pounds, maybe even more with all the panniers, and this guy does not want to let you in on that is maybe a bit on the beefy side. Look man, we get it. No one wants to admit they're skipping leg day, but if you're straddling a 500-pound monster, it may be time to learn the following phrase: yes, it's a heavy bike. Say it with me. Yes, it's a heavy bike. Now, once more with the feeling, yes, it is a heavy bike. See? That wasn't so bad now, was it? Adventure bikes can be heavy girls, and that's okay. We don't necessarily buy them for their figures. We buy them for their reliability, the fun factor, and their ability to crush any obstacle that dares get in their way. But God bless you if you're by yourself and you drop it on a trail and you need to pick it up, because that sucks. Number 4. Oh, I definitely hit some trails with this thing on my adventure back home. 1. Does anyone other than cartoon characters refer to their outdoor experiences as adventures? And 2, I'm not sure this flat, straight, well-paved road with absolutely zero obstacles, bumps, or even a loose rock counts as an adventure. That's right, this road can be only classified as an extreme adventure. The only thing that could help it transcend into an ultimate extreme adventure is a perfect 70 degrees with an optimal sunshine and cloud coverage, a nice breeze, and the promise of dandelions wafting in the wind. Enduro and trail bros the world over can't help but chuckle at the perceived difficulty levels of muscling an ADV bike through some trails, although I saw a video of a guy shredding some trails on a Super Adventure R. Guys, seriously, anything is possible if you're a good enough rider. Seriously. Number 5, I opted in for the touring, adventure, multi-adventure, touring technology, and extreme adventure packages. Again, with the extreme adventures, this is why I just opted for the Scrambler. I'm just not ready for these extreme adventures. Have you ever sat in the cockpit of a BMW GS 1200? It looks like it knows the codes to ask permission from flight control to take off into space. But that's okay. This super lumped out got every one of the optional packages available. He's like the soccer mom of motorcycle riders. Need an umbrella? He's got an add-on for that. Breath mint? Check the saddlebag. Extra gallon of gas? Look in the gas can under the seat. Sidecar? Hold my cup. We may poke fun at this guy, but there's no denying that his minivan of a motorcycle complete with the optional Lazy Boy package is a pretty sweet rig. I didn't even know you could get heated seats on a motorcycle, much less custom molded butt massagers. I gotta say, the Gooch Juice reducing fan was a really nice touch. I'm a little jealous of that one. They really did think of everything. Never forget, boys, adventure bikes are the luxury SUVs of the motorcycle world. Now, number 6, it may not look like it, but it can carve a canyon road like a sport bike. No, really, that 500-pound monster is zippy AF. Ugh. Okay, I can't get on board with this one. Someone please let this guy know that Rossi-inspired greatness cannot be compared to the sleds that are adventure bikes. It just hurts. And look, I get it. Some of these adventure bikes have huge engines, and most even offer up a good amount of torque. We've already talked about the difference between speed and power. They just aren't the same. Stop trying to make them the same, Brad. There is just no way that a 500-pound sled is going to carve that canyon like Rossi. Maybe it can carve it like Mount Rushmore, but definitely not like Rossi. Although, that is a good idea. Are petitions still a thing? Let's turn the comment section into a petition. If you agree that the great and almighty Father Rossi should be added to Mount Rushmore, drop a comment below. Praise Rossi. One of these days, I'm going to get a certified letter from Rossi's lawyers notifying me that I've been placed into a protective order and I'm not allowed to say his name, let alone look upon his visage. They'll probably even put a postscript on the bottom to let me know he just signed a deal with Triumph, just to really dig the knife in deeper. On a serious note, it does always boil down to the rider. An experienced guy on a 10RA 700 will demolish a newbie on an R6 down a twisty road every time, no matter what they're riding. Number 7, thinking of trading up to the new model, this one just doesn't cut it anymore. There's no denying that there's a certain image that follows this guy around. You know the one, the kid riding around on last year's GS 1200 who barely put 100 miles on the thing, and now he needs a new one. It makes sense though. If he had this year's model, he would have been able to carve those canyons like a sport bike, and he would have been able to put more than 100 miles on his bike. Clearly, the bike is the issue. And don't even get me started on the decrease in value for bikes if you keep them longer than a year. It really is a bad investment to keep them longer than that because they lose so much of their trade-in value. And who wants that? It just makes sense. And somehow 7 of these just doesn't seem like enough, and since your Papa Yam is so good to you, let's close this party down with one more thing ADV riders say. Bonus item, I'm never trading in my bike. It works fine. These new models are all flash and no gas. This is the ADV Classic, the pirate of riders, if you will. It doesn't matter that his bike is covered in crusty old barnacles. Is that rust holding it together? Is that some leftover debris from a natural disaster? Doesn't matter. That 20-year-old bike is crusty as hell, but it is a well-loved machine, and no matter how many times it sounds like someone is pulling a drive-by or how many times this guy has had to Gorilla Glue that seat back together, this babe still runs like a champ. She's got a little character is all. You can't get that on the new model. Alright, that's going to do it for today's episode. I could go on and on, but I'd have to save at least some of my material for my next video. Otherwise, I'd be out of a job and you'd be out of entertainment. That'd be a shame, wouldn't it? If you enjoyed today's ramblings, do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. It is the only way we make sure we don't lose each other in this great big world. And unlike Rose, I won't let go. There's room on this bike for both of us, brother. If you'd like to be among the first to hear about new content, new motorcycle giveaways, and the new restock of Gooch Juice, then go ahead and tap on that bell while you're down there. Otherwise, the YouTube gods will hide me in your feed, and by the time you know about the latest and greatest content, it'll be old, sad news. So make sure you're subscribed and your notifications turned on. Don't be the last one at the party. This isn't prom. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later. Fact. A manned rocket can reach the moon in less time than it would take a stagecoach to travel the length of England. I don't know if that makes England small or space really big, but either way, goodbye.